Bitcoin is down 5 to 10% year to date. It's having its worst Q4 since 2018, and it has underperformed. Gold is up about 70% year to date. Bitcoin, I think, is having a healthy reset. We've had a lot of deleveraging. We've had $20 to $30 billion of deleveraging since October. And I think this is a healthy reset for Bitcoin. We had excess leverage in the system, and we had some forced liquidations. And this is usually healthy for an asset class like Bitcoin. I do think we may go lower before we go higher, though. I think in Q1, Q2 next year, we could see Bitcoin at 60 to 70K. But in the long run, Bitcoin has a CAGR of about 70% over the last 10 years. So short to medium term, I expect more volatility. But in the long run, I'm still holding Bitcoin.
Kingsley, I've been observing Bitcoin's movements in the recent period, and I've noticed on several occasions we've seen violent movements in Bitcoin, movements of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, but without any news to explain them. As we know, this leads to a type of liquidation resulting in the loss of hundreds of millions of dollars for some traders. Will this particular factor, as it stands today, potentially affect the overall confidence in investing in this specific asset?
I think Bitcoin is a volatile asset. Investors in Bitcoin can expect it to be volatile. As I mentioned before, it has had a CAGR of 70% over the last 10 years. But we have seen, as you mentioned, some forced liquidations. Since October, we've had about $20 to $30 billion of liquidations. And we have some large market makers that have been experiencing some issues that need to cover their losses. And so we are seeing some large sellers of Bitcoin selling into very thin liquidity, which has caused a lot of price swings. But for those that are holding on a long-term basis, the fundamentals haven't changed. And in fact, I think Bitcoin has had more adoption over the past year than previous years. So I think that you could say Bitcoin is undervalued in the long run.
So, Jamie Dimon is well known for his strong criticism of cryptocurrencies and specifically his criticism of Bitcoin. However, at the very same time, JP Morgan, the bank itself operating as a major investment bank, is currently either offering or actively considering providing digital asset trading services to its institutional clients. For the bank, it's a clear acknowledgement that clients today are demanding this asset. But if I ask you today, for the individual investor and the high net worth individual, how are they supposed to... I'm considering adding Bitcoin to my investment portfolio. What's the most suitable way to invest in it? And what percentage of my overall portfolio should Bitcoin ideally represent?
Yeah, so Bitcoin's a long-term investment. I wouldn't recommend trading in short to medium term. It's something you store as a long-term store of value. So it's something that you put in your wallet. You don't expect to, have to sell to pay for groceries. So for me personally, Bitcoin's about 50% of my portfolio, but it depends on your risk appetite. For the average investor, you could say maybe 5 or 10% of their portfolio as a long-term store of value. So it really depends on the investor, on their risk appetite, but it's not something that you should be trading in the short term.
This means a full 50% of your financial portfolio, and this smile truly signifies that you are today a long-term investor able to endure these significant pressures even as market prices fall. And I'd like to express my gratitude to you, Kingsley Advani, the founder and chief executive officer of Allocation. Thank you very much.